documentary team will be premiering our long-awaited esports documentary. Before we get to it, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms down below to be notified when we release our full-length documentary. We hope that you will like it and gain some insight into the worlds of esports. Video games. Whether played at home or on the go, they are a main staple in today's society. Prominent companies such as Riot, Blizzard, and Epic Games have embedded their presence in modern culture, providing entertainment for millions of players at a time. For such a large industry, it can be hard to imagine that just 70 years ago, video games didn't exist. So how did it all begin? Back in 1958, physicist William Higginbotham created Tennis for Two, widely known as one of the first ever video games. It debuted as the centerpiece to the Brookhaven National Laboratory Open House, where it became an instant hit. 14 years later, the emerging game company Atari released Pong to the public.
Pong was the first really successful video game where you could really control something on the screen. It was a really novel idea.
The popularity of video games only skyrocketed from there. Classic hits such as Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and Donkey Kong cemented the industry in the public eye. There was a certain draw to video games that other forms of entertainment simply couldn't match.
Part of it was the socializing. You could play with other people. Some games like Gauntlet, you could play together, cooperating together. Gauntlet was probably a game that influenced some of the more modern games because you were in different mazes and you're trying to find the exit and you've got all these bad guys in the middle and you play helping your other people instead of against them.
With the rapid growth of the player community, it didn't take long for competitive gaming to emerge, and although games such as Pong, Pac-Man, and Space Invaders were originally made for entertainment, high scores and a place at the top paved the way for competition. New technology served as a catalyst for the evolving gaming industry, leading up to competitive gaming. Competitive gaming first started off as a way for players to prove their skills to the world. By entering local tournaments, players could have the opportunity to compete head-to-head in front of an audience. The first recorded esports tournament took place in 1972 at the Intergalactic Space War Olympics. Around 20 students competed against each other, hoping to win a discounted subscription of the Rolling Stones magazine who sponsored the event. Although competitive gaming was still in its early infancy, the Space War Olympics became the first step towards transforming competitive gaming as we know it today.
I'm old enough where, I grew up with Atari, Nintendo, Sega, etc., the whole bit, and then we used to play competitive video games with a LAN connection, a local area network, because the internet speed wasn't fast enough. So there was no esports sort of scene to talk about, when I was growing up. So now it's gotten to the point where it's, there's the bandwidth, there's the interest, and then there's a lot of money involved.
In 2000, World Cyber Games, an international esports competition, hosted its first competition, which gave players an opportunity to compete for a prize pool of $200,000. Participants played in a wide variety of games, such as FIFA 2000, Age of Empires 2, and StarCraft: Brood War. The inclusion of these games boosted their popularity. StarCraft in particular was already an established title in Korea, but through international competitions, it became known worldwide.
I think competition is very, very good for video games because it gives people something to follow along with. But I think when you are able to create rivalries and storylines and a narrative, I think creates a more exciting and dynamic environment for everyone involved.
Organizations like the World Cyber Games stimulated the growth of esports, and in the years since, the number of gaming events around the world has grown exponentially. With this expansion, it wasn't long before people incorporated video games into their everyday lives. Video games have brought together different narratives and stories that have not only caught the attention of players, but also brought the gaming community together as a whole. Modern games such as Halo, League of Legends, Fortnite, and Overwatch provide a fantasy land for gamers to escape from reality and explore whole new worlds. Fortnite, for instance, transports people to a fictional battle arena where hundreds of players face each other until one remains.
I probably spent the most time in the Halo franchise, so I grew up playing Halo. The story and the narrative and the dialogue around the characters has always fascinated me, and there's just such a rich community around Halo as well, and that's why it's my favorite.
The outcome of Twitch's popularity has been impressive. Beyond being an open platform for live streaming, it has heavily affected the growth of esports. Viewers are able to watch live streams for entertainment and even learn a thing or two from professional players. Popular streamers such as Shroud, Summit1G, and Ninja set the stage for competitive gaming and streaming as we know it today.
Twitch is popular because it brings like a level of socialization to entertainment. Now you can literally watch someone do something that you love, gaming, and then on top of that, like meet friends, like talk in a chat to that person and with other people watching that same person. I guess it just brings human interaction and that level, like a socialization to something that's considered not social. You can have all your friends on Twitch and you can meet people from across the world and it can kind of come together for one common interest. I think that's really why.
Each game embodies a different community, and when people watch others play, they can feel as if they are part of the experience too.
I think it's going nowhere but up. I think with like the blowing up of like games like Fortnite, I think it'll really help esports as a whole. I personally don't believe Fortnite should be like an esport, but I think it just brings a lot of attention to sites like Twitch, especially with trailblazers like Ninja, and just making a way for like more people to come in and get the viewership and attention that esports has deserved for a long time.
By 2021, the esports industry is projected to have over 84 million viewers, a viewership much higher than professional sports leagues, such as the MLB and NBA, and it doesn't look like it'll slow down anytime soon. As the esports industry continues to grow, players as well as businesses are being motivated by the possibility that the industry holds for them, especially in the world of economics. Whether people realize it or not, playing video games is not just a pastime. In fact, the same kids who are addicted to playing video games are now launching careers off of their hobby.
I think it's great and amazing to be able to be in a time where if gaming is your passion, you can actually go pursue that and start a career by starting a YouTube channel, or if you wanted to enter into any of our esports tournaments, you can do that. And just by giving people the platform and the opportunity to do so, I think is really, really exciting.
As a matter of fact, gamers aren't the only people who are involved in the esports industry. Additionally, because the industry is still so new, there are many gray areas that do not have definite rules. Various conditions and terms apply in the industry, especially since it is becoming so financially valuable, and oftentimes lawyers are called in to help.
The money makes the big difference. So there's litigation involved. There are no rules that are really set. We're sort of at this new point where everything's kind of evolving, right? They're literally writing the laws because new issues come up.
While the esports industry continues to jet off into a world of endless success and wealth, famous brands such as Nike are starting to want a piece of the industry too.
Not just computer companies, but non-endemic sponsorships are out there, such as Nike or Monster Drinks. They see the value in these players or in esports.
Companies are even adapting to trends and changing the way they market their products in order to increase sales and maintain loyalty among their customers.
The expansion of competitive gaming has really changed the landscape of how we think about games, how we market our games, how we sell our games, and how we even make them. It's important that we have a strong network of fans and we provide value and create a mode of our fans to engage and be excited about the content that we push.
The gaming industry is not only affecting players, but also people from other industries. Competitive gaming has evolved into something much bigger than anyone could have imagined just a few decades ago, and as it grows, more and more people are aspiring to become professional players. Students especially have taken a step forward, beginning with establishing teams within their community.
The team's more or less like a family because you end up really getting to know people. It gets to connect people from all over the world with different experiences and different cultures and backgrounds, and video game remains the same.
While there are a lot of gamers who invest their time into improving their skills so they can be associated with a team, there are also many who treat video games as a hobby still. It is evident that video games are becoming increasingly popular and many cities have started to introduce them into their local communities. Video games are no longer just a leisure activity that is played at home. Many schools and students have taken initiative to incorporate video games as part of a student's everyday life.
For this past fall semester, we had our Overwatch High Schools Classic tournament, and then we had 3 extra credit tournaments in Overwatch, Fortnite, and Hearthstone. We also do workshops, so this past fall semester we had a workshop in healthy gaming, and then we also had a couple in tournament organizing and starting your club. So NASEF is a federation, so what we do is we start esports clubs on high school campuses and community-based organizations, and essentially we want them to get their esports ecosystem started so that the schools and clubs can have students engaged that aren't just the ones playing on the team.
Thanks to NASEF, students have more opportunities to pursue a career in gaming while furthering their education.
So I'm going into the University of Utah as a student athlete, and I'm going to keep playing competitively at the ACT level. I got a scholarship to go to college. I feel like I have more purpose with what I'm doing, and I have it justifies how much time I spend on the computer.
While video games grow both as a competitive sport and hobby, support among communities has also drastically increased. There are many local cafes, such as Level Gaming and No Future Cafe, that support players in their facilities, providing a friendly, welcoming environment for all. The video game community has not only affected the lives of many gamers, but has also changed the way that society views gaming. Dividing itself into both a career and a hobby, video games fall under one of the most diverse industries, influencing millions of people all over the world.